Part 1 of 3. Title: I proposed to my girlfriend, and she said, I'm pregnant. With your friend's baby. Alright, buckle up, Reddit, because I honestly don't know how to even begin untangling the mess I'm in. I've been lurking here for years, laughing at AITA stories and occasionally commenting on relationship threads, but I never thought I'd be that guy writing a wall of text about my life blowing up in the most cinematic way possible. But here I am. So, hi. I'm a 28M. My, now, girlfriend, let's call her Emily, 27F, and I have been together for about 4 years. I thought she was it for me. Like, I wasn't just planning to propose, I already had the damn ring hidden in my sock drawer for months. Every time she laughed at some dumb joke I made or fell asleep on my shoulder during Netflix binges, I'd think, yep, she's my person. The proposal plan wasn't extravagant. I'm not a flash mob, skywriting, fireworks kind of guy. I wanted it to be simple and us. I picked a quiet little Italian restaurant we both love, the kind that's dimly lit and smells like garlic and comfort. I'd rehearsed what I was going to say in my head 100 times. I had this whole speech lined up about how she was my best friend, how I wanted to grow old with her, how I couldn't imagine life without her. I was nervous as hell, though. My hands were sweating so badly I had to wipe them on the tablecloth when she went to the bathroom. The waiter kept looking at me like he knew what I was about to do. I probably had that wide-eyed, deer-in-the-headlights look. Anyway. She comes back from the bathroom, and I'm trying to act normal but my heart is pounding. I wait until dessert, tiramisu, her favorite, and then I pull out the ring. My voice is shaking, but I manage to get the words out. Emily, I love you. Will you marry me? She just stares at me. Not the happy tears stare. Not even the, oh my god, shocked stare. More like a deer-in-headlights stare, but in the worst way. And then she says, I can't. At first I think maybe she means she's not ready. Or she's overwhelmed. Or she wants to talk about it more. My stomach drops but I'm still clinging to hope. I ask, why not? And that's when she takes this deep breath, looks me dead in the eye, and says the sentence that has been playing on loop in my head ever since. I'm pregnant. And it's not yours. It's your friend's. I swear the restaurant went silent. Like, I know logically people were still clinking forks and talking, but in my brain? Nothing. Just ringing. I don't even remember how long I sat there. Probably long enough for the tiramisu to melt into a puddle. I think I said, what, a few times like an idiot. She started crying. People at nearby tables were definitely staring. My friend. My friend. She wouldn't even say his name at first, but I knew. I knew. Because there's only one person it could have been. Let's rewind a bit. I have this best friend, let's call him Ryan, 29M. We've been tight since high school. Like, brothers tight. We played football together, went to college together, lived in the same crappy apartment after graduation. He's the guy who helped me move every time I changed apartments. The guy who drove across town at 3 a.m. when my car broke down. The guy I always assumed would be my best man. And yeah, he's been around Emily a lot. BBQs, game nights, trips. I never thought anything of it. I trusted both of them. She was my girlfriend. He was my best friend. They laughed together sometimes, but it didn't seem weird. I mean, of course they got along, they were both important people in my life. So when she said, your friend, my brain immediately went, Ryan. I think I laughed, which is insane, because there was nothing funny about it. Just this broken, bitter laugh. And I said, Ryan? She nodded. And read it. I can't describe the feeling. Like someone had reached into my chest, pulled out my heart, and drop-kicked it into traffic. I didn't yell. I didn't flip the table or cause a scene. I just sat there. She kept talking, saying things like, it just happened, and, I didn't mean for it to, and, I didn't know how to tell you. But it was all a blur. Eventually I stood up, put the ring back in my pocket, and walked out. Left her sitting there crying in the restaurant. I don't even remember driving home. Just white-knuckling the steering wheel, chest tight, vision blurry. When I got to my apartment, I just sat on the couch in the dark. Didn't turn on the lights, didn't move, didn't cry. Just sat. My phone buzzed 100 times. Emily. Ryan. Both of them. I didn't answer. The next day, reality started setting in. Because as much as I wanted to pretend this was some nightmare, I knew I had to face it. Emily showed up at my door, puffy-eyed, looking like hell. She begged me to talk. I let her in because I didn't have the energy to fight. She told me everything. Apparently it happened at a party about 2 months ago. She and Ryan were both drunk. I had left early because I had work the next morning. She stayed. One thing led to another. She swore it was just once. But of course once was enough. She found out she was pregnant a few weeks later. Did the math. Realized it couldn't be mine. And instead of telling me right away, she sat on it. Waited until the moment I was literally proposing marriage to drop the nuclear bomb. I asked her why. Why she would betray me like that. Why with him? She cried and said she didn't know. That she hated herself. That she didn't mean for it to happen. And here's the worst part, some sick, twisted part of me wanted to comfort her. Like, she's sobbing on my couch and my reflex was to put my arm around her. That's how deep the love ran. How badly I wanted to believe this wasn't happening. But I didn't. I just sat there, fists clenched, while she begged me not to hate her. Then came the Ryan confrontation. I texted him, "We need to talk." He showed up an hour later, looking like death. No joking, no casual, "Bro, what's up?" He knew. He sat on the edge of the chair like a kid waiting to be grounded. I asked him straight up, "Did you sleep with Emily?" He didn't deny it. Didn't even try. Just nodded. Said he was sorry. Said it was a mistake. Said he was drunk and it shouldn't have happened. I wanted to punch him so badly. My hands were shaking. This was the guy who was supposed to be my brother. My ride or die. And he slept with the woman I was going to marry. But instead of swinging, I just asked, "And now she's pregnant?" He nodded again. And then he said the sentence that nearly made me lose it, "I'll do the right thing." Like what? What the hell does the right thing even mean in this situation? Marry her? Raise the kid? Step aside so I can? None of it made sense. That's where I left it. I kicked him out. Told Emily to leave too. And now I'm here. Alone in my apartment, typing this out because I don't know what else to do. I don't know if I can forgive either of them. I don't know what my future looks like. I don't know if I'll ever trust anyone again. But I do know one thing, the life I thought I had? The life I was seconds away from locking in with a ring? It's gone. And tomorrow I have to decide whether I cut them both out completely, or whether I let myself get dragged deeper into this mess. Part 2 of 3. Title, Update, I proposed to my girlfriend, she said she's pregnant with my friend's baby. Well, Reddit, I didn't think my life could nosedive harder after part 1. But apparently, the universe heard me say, it can't get worse, and decided to treat it as a challenge. I've been reading through the comments you all left me, and damn, y'all did not hold back. Some of you told me to cut them both off immediately, block numbers, burn bridges, go no contact. Others were like, at least hear her out, OP. A few even said, get a paternity test, don't worry, that's on the list. It was overwhelming but also, grounding. Like, I wasn't totally insane for feeling like my entire world had been bulldozed. Anyway, let's get into what happened since. The fallout with family. So, I didn't tell anyone at first. I was too shell-shocked. But secrets like this? They have a way of spilling out. My mom called a few days later to check in. She knew I'd been planning to propose, I'd even shown her the ring when I bought it. She asked, all excited. Well? Did she say yes? I froze. I wanted to lie, just to avoid the whole thing, but my voice cracked and before I knew it, I was blurting everything. The restaurant. The bombshell. The pregnancy. Ryan. All of it. There was just silence on the phone. And then my mom, sweet, church-going, never swears mom, said, "That little bitch." I almost laughed through the tears because I'd never heard her curse like that in my entire life. The family grapevine worked fast. Within 2 days, my sister knew. My dad knew. My cousins knew. Everyone was blowing up my phone with sympathy texts and, "Come over, man, we've got beer," invites. Meanwhile, Emily had been texting me non-stop. "We need to talk. Please, just hear me out. I don't want to lose you." She even showed up at my building twice, buzzing the doorbell until I ignored her. And then she went nuclear, she told my parents. Apparently, she showed up at my mom's place crying, begging them to talk to me on her behalf. Saying she still loved me, that it wasn't what it looked like, that she wanted to make things right. My mom kicked her out. My mom. The woman who always told me to be compassionate, to forgive, to give people second chances. She straight up told Emily she wasn't welcome in the house. That's when I realized just how badly Emily had miscalculated. Whatever fantasy she had about me forgiving her and raising Ryan's kid together like some twisted sitcom. It wasn't happening. The friend group implodes. Ryan tried reaching out too. At first just texts, "Can we talk? I feel awful. I'll make this right." Then came the call I dreaded. Our mutual friends found out. We have this tight little circle from high school. BBQs, fantasy football, trips to the lake. These guys are my brothers. Or at least, I thought they were. Word spread. Some of the guys were furious with Ryan. Like, "You broke the bro code at the highest possible level," furious. One buddy, Mark, texted me, "He's dead to me. Don't even worry about it, bro, we got you." But not everyone saw it that way. A couple of them, who always thought Emily was cool, started taking a softer stance. "It was one mistake, dude. She was drunk, he was drunk, it just happened. Don't throw away years of friendship over this." Yeah. Because apparently I'm supposed to just shrug off the fact that the love of my life and my best friend decided to play house one drunken night and now there's a kid involved. Totally casual. No big deal. So now my friend group is split right down the middle. Barbecue plans? Cancelled. Fantasy football league? Imploded. It's like a divorce where people are picking sides. Emily's pitch. Here's the kicker, Reddit. The part where I realized just how surreal this whole situation really was. Emily finally got me to agree to meet for coffee. I don't know why I said yes. Morbid curiosity? Closure? Some stupid part of me still craving answers? Probably all of the above. We sit down. She looks like she hasn't slept in days. Makeup smudged, hair a mess. And she launches right into it. She says she knows she messed up. That she hates herself for it. That Ryan means nothing to her, that I'm the one she loves. I ask, then why him? Why that night? She says she doesn't know. That it was a mistake. That she was drunk and feeling insecure because I left the party early, and Ryan was there, and it just happened. I sit there in silence. And then she drops the real bomb. She wants me to stay with her. Not just stay. She wants me to marry her anyway. Her logic? We can raise the baby together. You've always wanted kids. Biology doesn't matter. What matters is love. Reddit, I almost spit my coffee across the table. I asked her if she was seriously asking me to raise my best friend's child as my own. She nodded, tears streaming, saying, "It doesn't have to change anything between us." I actually laughed. Like, hysterically laughed. People were staring. I couldn't stop. When I finally calmed down, I told her the truth, I loved her. I did. With everything I had. But the person I loved wasn't real. She was someone I thought she was, someone who would never do this. The real her? I didn't know that person. And I didn't want to. She sobbed. Begged. Said she'd do anything to make it right. I left. Ryan's offer. Later that week, Ryan came by uninvited. I almost didn't answer the door, but curiosity got the better of me. He sat down, looking like hell. And then he hit me with his own solution. He said he was going to step up for the kid. That he'd take responsibility. But, and here's the insane part, he said he still wanted me in his life. He wanted us to work through it. Said he didn't want to lose his best friend over one mistake. I stared at him. One mistake? A one-night stand with my girlfriend of 4 years that resulted in a pregnancy is not one mistake. That's not forgetting to pick up milk on the way home. That's detonating a nuclear bomb in the middle of my life. I told him as much. He cried, seriously, why is everyone crying except me? Said he'd give me space. Left. The family intervention. Here's where things really took a turn. My parents invited me over for dinner. I thought it was just going to be comfort food and maybe a pep talk. Nope. It was an ambush. They sat me down and basically staged an intervention. My mom, dad, and sister all in a row, looking at me like I was on trial. They told me I needed to make a decision. That dragging it out was just making it worse. That Emily was still calling them, begging them to convince me. That Ryan had even reached out to my dad, to make peace. I wanted to scream. I didn't ask for any of this. I didn't cheat. I didn't betray anyone. Yet somehow I'm the one being pressured to decide. Finally, my sister asked the question no one else had, what if the baby isn't his? It hit me like a freight train. Because in all the chaos, I hadn't actually considered that possibility. What if Emily was lying? What if it was mine? The test. So yeah. I called Emily. Told her if she wanted even a shred of hope of me not cutting her off forever, we needed a DNA test. As soon as possible. She agreed immediately. Too quickly, honestly. Which made me suspicious. We scheduled it. It's happening next week. And now I'm sitting here in limbo. On one hand, if it's Ryan's, then fine, at least I know. Closure. I can move on, cut ties, and never look back. But if it's mine? Then what? Do I suddenly forgive her? Pretend the betrayal never happened because biology worked in my favor? Raise a kid with a woman who shattered my trust? I don't know. I don't have answers. All I know is, I'm standing on the edge of a cliff, waiting for a piece of paper to shove me one way or the other. Part 3 of 3. Title, Final Update, I proposed to my girlfriend, she said she's pregnant with my friend's baby. Okay, read it. Deep breath. This is it. The last part of this absolute train wreck of a story that somehow became my actual life. Thank you to everyone who's been following along since part 1. I didn't expect thousands of strangers to care about some guy's imploding relationship, but reading your comments at 3 a.m. when I couldn't sleep has been, honestly, life-saving. You made me feel less alone. So, the DNA results are in. And everything that came after them. Buckle up. The waiting. The week between scheduling the test and getting the results was pure torture. Every day felt like walking around with a time bomb strapped to my chest. Emily kept texting me. How are you feeling? Do you want to talk? Can I come over? I ignored most of it. Occasionally I'd respond with something short, like, no, or, we'll see. Ryan? He stayed mostly quiet. Except one night he sent me this long paragraph about how he'd be there for the kid no matter what, and that our friendship doesn't have to end over this. I didn't even reply. My parents were on edge too. Mom kept making casseroles and dropping them off like I was recovering from surgery. Dad just kept saying, whatever happens, son, you'll be okay. My sister texted me memes at random times to distract me. It helped more than she probably realizes. The results. So. The big moment. I got the call from the clinic on a Tuesday afternoon. I almost didn't answer. My hands were shaking so badly I dropped my phone the first time. When I finally picked up, the nurse confirmed my info and said, the results are ready. Do you want them over the phone? I said yes. She cleared her throat and said, "The test shows a 0% probability of paternity. You are not the father." I don't even know what I felt in that moment. Relief? Rage? Grief? All of it at once, crashing together like waves. My knees actually gave out and I had to sit on the floor. Not mine. The baby wasn't mine. Which meant all of Emily's begging about, "We can raise it together," was just delusion. I hung up and just sat there in silence for what felt like an hour. Eventually, I texted Emily, "It's Ryan's. Don't contact me again." The aftermath. You'd think that would be the end. Clean break, right? Wrong. Emily showed up at my door that night. Banging. Crying. Screaming my name. My neighbors probably thought I was murdering someone. I didn't open the door. I just sat on the couch, listening to her beg. "Please, we can still be together. It doesn't matter whose baby it is. I love you, not him." After half an hour, she finally left. The next day, she sent this massive email about how she'd made a mistake but didn't want to throw away 4 years. That she'd raise the baby alone if she had to. That she still saw me as her forever. I didn't reply. Ryan tried too. He showed up at my work one afternoon. My boss had to escort him out. He was crying, again, and kept saying, "Bro, don't do this, we're family. Family doesn't sleep with your girlfriend. Family doesn't get her pregnant." So I blocked him. Phone, socials, everything. As far as I'm concerned, he doesn't exist anymore. The friend group fallout. Remember how our friend group split? Yeah, that turned into full-on war. Half the guys cut Ryan off completely. The other half, well, they didn't defend what he did, but they weren't willing to exile him either. Which meant I couldn't hang out with them anymore without risking seeing him. So I lost my girlfriend, my best friend, and half my social circle in one blow. At first it crushed me. I spent weeks just going to work, coming home, sitting in the dark. But slowly, it started to feel freeing. Like I'd been carrying around this rotten weight I didn't notice until it was gone. The friends who stuck with me? They showed up big time. Mark came over almost every night that first month just to watch dumb movies and make sure I ate. Another buddy dragged me to the gym to sweat out the betrayal. It sounds cliché, but it helped. The unexpected bombshell. Here's the part no one saw coming. About a month after the test results, Emily's sister, who I was always cool with, reached out. She asked if we could meet for coffee. I was hesitant, but curiosity got me again. We sit down, and she looks angry. Not at me. At Emily. She tells me Emily had been lying. That the night with Ryan? It wasn't just a one-time drunk mistake. It had been going on for months. Multiple times. Secret meetups. Sneaking around. Everyone thought it was weird how close they were, but no one said anything because, well, I trusted them. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut all over again. It wasn't just a slip. It wasn't just bad judgment one night. It was an affair. A whole second relationship behind my back. The proposal night wasn't a confession. It was the night the walls caved in on her lie, and she had no choice but to tell me. The closure conversation. After hearing that, I realized I needed real closure. So I agreed to meet Emily one last time. We sat in her car in a grocery store parking lot. She looked rough. Not just tired, haunted. I told her I knew about the months-long affair. She broke down instantly. Admitted it was true. Said she didn't know why she did it. Said Ryan made her feel seen in ways I didn't. Said she never planned for it to go this far. I asked her point blank, if I hadn't proposed, would you have kept lying? She nodded. That was it for me. I told her she destroyed everything. Not just us, but my friendships, my trust, my future. I told her I hoped she figured herself out, because she was about to be a single mom with no support from me. Then I got out of the car and didn't look back. Where I am now. It's been a few months since all this went down. Emily moved back in with her parents. From what I hear, Ryan's still involved, but their relationship is a disaster. Apparently his family isn't thrilled about the situation either. Can't say I feel sorry for him. Me? I started therapy. Best decision I've made in years. I needed someone to help me sort through the mess in my head, and it's actually working. I also reconnected with some old college buddies I'd lost touch with. Turns out when your world implodes, you find out who your real people are. And the ring? The one I bought to propose with? I sold it. Used the money to book a solo trip to Europe this summer. Because if there's one thing I've learned, it's that life is too short to let betrayal be the final chapter. Final thoughts. If you're reading this and you're in a relationship, don't ignore your gut. Don't ignore red flags. I thought Emily and Ryan were safe, that I could trust them completely. I ignored little moments that made me uneasy because I didn't want to be that jealous boyfriend. And look where it got me. But also, don't lose hope. People suck sometimes. But not everyone sucks. The love and support I've gotten from family, real friends, and even strangers on the internet has reminded me that betrayal doesn't define you. I'm not the guy whose girlfriend cheated with his best friend. I'm just a guy who got knocked down hard, but is getting back up. And honestly, I'm kind of excited to see what comes next. That's it. That's the story. Thanks for riding this hell train with me, Reddit.